Once upon a time, there lived a man named Toby. He was the kind of man who thought the world revolved around him. Handsome and charming, Toby believed his good looks were enough to get any woman he desired. He played with emotions as if they were toys, leaving behind a trail of broken hearts and shattered trust. Women warned others about his manipulative ways, but his charm was hard to resist. One of the women who fell for him was Ozzy. She had been with Toby for 12 years, believing every word of his promises. Toby assured her that one day he would marry her. He even met her family, building dreams of a future together. Ozzy, blinded by love, chased away every other suitor, waiting patiently for Toby to fulfill his promise. But behind her back, Toby had other plans. He had made up his mind to marry a virgin, someone he considered pure and worthy of his name. To him, Ozzy was just someone to pass the time with, not a woman deserving of his commitment. One day, Toby announced to his friends that he was ready to settle down. His friends laughed, knowing his reckless ways, but Toby was serious. He wanted a virtuous bride who would ensure his loyalty and status in society. Determined, Toby cut off all ties with his past, including Ozzy. He stopped answering her calls, ignored her messages, and even avoided her family. Toby started attending church, believing he could find the perfect woman there. Among the congregation was Damola, a kind-hearted and virtuous woman known for her modesty and strong faith. Toby decided she was the one. To win her over, he put on the performance of his life, portraying himself as a changed man deeply devoted to God. He joined the prayer group, fasted for 21 days, and became the talk of the church for his supposed transformation. Damola was skeptical at first. She had heard about Toby's past and doubted his intentions. But Toby's persistence and apparent sincerity eventually convinced her. When he proposed, she accepted. Toby was overjoyed, feeling victorious for securing the perfect wife. Meanwhile, Ozzy was heartbroken when she heard the news. The man she had devoted 12 years to had abandoned her without a second thought. Determined to confront him, she showed up at his doorstep. "Why, Toby?" she cried. "Why would you do this to me? After everything we've been through?" Toby leaned back on his couch, his tone dripping with arrogance. "Let's be honest, Ozzy. You were never wife material. You were convenient, that's all. I need someone pure, someone I can trust. And you don't fit the criteria." Ozzy's heart shattered into a million pieces. With tears streaming down her face, she left, her spirit broken but her resolve growing stronger. Toby's wedding to Damola was a grand affair. He stood at the altar, proud and confident, believing he had everything he ever wanted. But life had other plans. On their wedding night, Toby noticed something strange about Damola. She slept with her eyes wide open. When he asked her about it, she brushed it off, saying it happened sometimes. Toby felt uneasy, but decided not to dwell on it. As the days passed, Toby returned to his old ways, secretly visiting other women while maintaining the facade of a devoted husband. But something strange began to happen. Every time he was with another woman, he would suddenly collapse, unconscious. At first, he dismissed it as exhaustion, but the episodes became more frequent and terrifying. Desperate, Toby visited doctors and spiritualists, but no one could explain his condition. One day, a friend reminded him of Ozzy's parting words. "You think you're better than me, Toby? But you'll never escape the pain you've caused." A chilling realization struck him. Could Ozzy be behind his suffering? Toby tried to find her, but she had disappeared without a trace. In his desperation, Toby sought out a powerful prophetess who performed a cleansing ritual by the river. She warned him to change his ways, but Toby, arrogant as ever, decided to test if the ritual had worked. He picked up a beautiful woman on the road and took her to a hotel. As he leaned in to kiss her, An intense heat surged through his body. Toby collapsed, but this time he remained conscious. To his horror, the woman transformed into a terrifying snake. Paralyzed with fear, Toby watched as the snake coiled around him, tightening its grip. Suddenly, the door burst open. It was Demola. She had followed him, sensing something was wrong. With a calm yet commanding presence, she began to pray. The snake vanished, leaving Toby trembling on the floor. Demola looked at him with disappointment and sadness. "What did you do to Tundi?" she asked. Toby froze. Memories of his betrayal flooded back. Years ago, he had slept with a woman Tund loved, just to prove his charm. Tund had been deeply hurt and had carried that pain for years. Unbeknownst to Toby, Tund had sought revenge, placing a curse on him that would punish him for his infidelity. Filled with regret, Toby sought out Tund and apologized. "I was arrogant and foolish," he admitted. "I've hurt so many people, but I want to make things right." Tund forgave him, saying, "Revenge didn't bring me peace, but forgiveness might. Change your ways, Toby. Truly change." From that day, Toby began to rebuild his life. He returned to the church, not to impress anyone, but to seek true redemption. He remained faithful to Demola, who supported him despite her pain. Years later, Toby ran into Ozzy at the airport. She had moved abroad, married a kind man, and found happiness. She forgave Toby, saying, "Life has given me more than I ever dreamed of. I hope you found peace too." Toby lived the rest of his days as a devoted husband, never taking love and loyalty for granted again. He learned the hard way that no one escapes the consequences of their actions. Pride may offer temporary satisfaction, but it ultimately leads to downfall. The lesson of Toby's life is clear. Treat others with respect and sincerity, for what goes around always comes back around.